What's up? What's up? What's up, people? What's happening? As always, here on the Fantacular Show, we gotta give a big old shout out to everyone who stops on in. So we're gonna give it a couple of minutes there while we allow people to slowly dive on in, because of course, if you don't catch it while it's happening, you may miss out on something that you really gonna laugh about. So I'm just trying to make sure that I got the sound where it's supposed to be. So just bear with me for just one moment while I double check a few things. All right, all right, all right. Because of course I got to make sure the sound is right for what we're about to experience. It's all about the experience, and if the volume ain't right, we can't get the experience the right way. So we got to try to make sure we get the experience the way we need to get the experience. So a couple other things are trying to happen in the background. I'm just trying to get rid of some stuff here because we all know, for those that don't know, YouTube is always trying to stop a person from creating or presenting, and it's straight disgusting how it keeps doing it. So that's why I want to make sure that we see what I want y'all to see, and of course partake in what I prefer for y'all to partake in. Because if you don't partake in it the right way, you're gonna miss out on it. So, with that being said, let me just double check a few other things, make sure some sound is right. I just got to make sure about some sound, so just bear with me for 30 seconds. All right, okay, all right. So, today's segment on the Fantacular Show is, of course, you guys know that I love doing reaction videos, right? And as much as I like to do reaction videos, I I did something a little different recently, and it was just out of a spare moment. It was just something that I did, and it got recorded, and it wound up being so funny and so cool that I had to go ahead and post it and see exactly how everybody else was going to respond to it. And before I get into that, let me just give a big old shout out to Little Nephew Out the Pit podcast, Out the Pit Sackcloth, Queen Sackcloth as well, my Queen of Queens, top to bottom, T to B. Big old shout out to Ron from Ron's Opinion Don't Matter, because of course Ron's opinion does matter in my world. Just for real, a world away from here, Joyce Ort, R.I.P. Bam Bam, of course, actually it's R.I.P. underscore Bam Bam. Ant Like the Bug, okay, which will be mentioned a few times today. Let me see who I missed out there. Guardian of Truth, got to add that fellow that fellow into the mix. A lot of content, plethora of information coming out that brother. Very, very interesting mind frame as what I consider a way of looking at things. Let's see who else I got to give a big old shout out. Just for real, Mando Magic for bringing all that surplus in and out of the United States. Mando Magic is a truck driver, okay, and we got to give him a lot of big up and a lot of shout out to him, because of course without him our surpluses and our needs and our goods will not get to where they need to get to. So of course we got to give a big old shout out to him as well. And see, did I miss anybody? I don't think I missed anybody, and if I did, my deepest apologies. Joyce Ort, world away from here. My Queen of Queens, top to bottom. Queen Sackcloth, Out the Pit Sackcloth, Out the Pit podcast. Ron from Ron's Opinion Don't Matter. Rest RIP rest in peace. I don't know how you want to look at it. RIP underscore Bam Bam. And like the bug, as I mentioned, I got to give them this big old shout out. And I think that's about it. That's Data Search. Got to give her some. Got to give her a shout out. Data Search. She's another person with interesting ways of looking at things. Okay, and plethora of information. My sister from another world, of course, Ana Maria. Another sister, Crystal. Big old shout out to K Judah. Got to give him a big old shout out, of course. I'm just trying to remember some more people that I know I speak to on a daily basis. I don't want to miss out on anybody. I don't want them to feel left out because they all appreciate it. But I appreciate them because they're the ones that actually give me information to do what I do. Okay, and of course, with them giving me information, makes things a little more easier for when I actually present my reaction videos and my content. And it's always best to give praise, not praise, give acknowledgement rather. Give acknowledgement to other people who are somewhat a influence to one's content. Because at the end of the day, every little bit makes content better. And of course, you guys heard me a few times already rant and rave about this YouTube, because YouTube is really starting to do some real dirt on a lot of content creators. Okay. And one of the worst things is, like I always say, and I continue saying, if you're going to create a rule, you got to make sure everyone follows that rule. So if you don't follow that, if you let some people break the rule, then it's for everybody. It's from 8 to 80, equal opportunity, EOE, equal opportunity for everyone. Don't withhold some people and let other people run them up, because it doesn't work. It doesn't work. Which also, by the way, I got to give a shout out to Nathaniel Penn from Final Notice for putting up some more content, which I'm going to start sharing his content pretty soon. Little nephew out the pit, always a pleasure. Thanks for swinging on by. I know you got a lot of things going on in the background, so I don't mind if you have to listen. I would appreciate that you stick by, because I want you to enjoy what's happening. Okay, little niece queen, hopefully your arms and your legs are not letting you down and they're keeping you up, because I saw that workout. Okay, that's 3 days in a row. Now you got to take a day to relax, let the body rejuvenate. Okay, doing some great work there, and I'm sure your channel is gonna skyrocket even faster now, because there's a lot of people out there that want to gain. They want to lose that weight. I want to gain the weight that you're making all those people lose. Give it to me. I want to gain it. All right. So it's just to, let you know that I'm watching. I just can't participate the way I would like to, but maybe someday somebody find a way to make a fat man roll around the dirt and start losing some weight. All right. So if I missed anybody on my shout outs, I do apologize. I appreciate you all. And I know everyone's time is precious and invaluable, and as valuable it is to them and to you all, it's valuable to me. So I appreciate you all sharing that time with me. So I'm not going to hold up too more, because I got a few people in the background, in the bushes watching. And of course, always share my content, follow my channel, subscribe to the channel. It's great. And trust me when I tell you, I'm coming up with some new content. With the time of essence moving, there's going to be some shifts in time of presenting. So hopefully everybody will be all right with that. And of course, my golden rule is to find humor in the actions, not of what's happening, but in the actions of the people. So with that being said, recently I made a phone call. Yes, I'm going to tell you, I made a phone call to a person, and it clicked onto me to do something a little different. I switched up my voice just a little bit, and I made the phone call a little bit more funnier. And I want you guys to tell me if this was funny or not. Okay, some of you got to listen to the premiere, but you guys got to hear a clip of what's happening. You guys didn't get to hear the transition or how this whole thing started. So I wanted to share that with you guys, because my idea now is to do something like a program I used to watch many years ago. The Steve Harvey show had the prank call Fridays or something like that. And I'm thinking maybe I should do something like that, and or start trying to find those calls that were done back in the day and represent them again and find some reaction to it. So I'm going to figure out how to go about it. I haven't figured that part out yet, but this situation was extremely funny. So just to give you a little heads up, the person that the prank happened to, okay, is a collaborator I collab with, okay. They did work at the police station, okay, which makes it more funnier because they worked at a police station. So working at a police station and hearing what happened makes it all more funnier. Okay, so it's almost like a cop, okay, a police officer being pranked with the way the law enforcement works. Okay, so with that being said, first and foremost, I hope everybody enjoys it. Listen, I'm going to make sure everybody laughs today, and if you don't laugh at this content, there is something mentally and emotionally wrong with you because I've listened to it and I keep laughing every time I hear it. So we're gonna go on and we're gonna hear this content, okay? And I want you guys to again try to understand YouTube has restrictions on how I present my content. So I apologize if it looks a little stupid or silly or just out of the ordinary. Just listen. It's all more about listening before watching. So let's listen to the first part of how the prank, as I called the title, if I remember correctly, the title is, and this is where it got funny, when stealing Wi-Fi gets you caught. It's a prank. All right. So let's take a listen to how it starts.
Mr. Anthony James, this is the Federal Bureau of Investigations. We have a warrant for your arrest. You are required to, apologies, you are required to turn yourself in to the nearest local police station for riding your e-bike and stealing Wi-Fi from your neighbors. We have several complaints of all your neighbors, including the children that were actually on video with you reporting it several moments later. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in the court of law. You have the right to an attorney. If you do not wish to provide yourself with an attorney, we'd be more than glad to provide you with one. But you have to report to your nearest police station and respond to docket number 184569970. That is your arrest warrant for stealing Wi-Fi in your neighborhood on the e-bike.
I gotta tell you, that was freaking hilarious. That was the voicemail that I left for him. Right now, what makes it more funnier is that if you guys heard, I put a lot of things in there to try to throw off his concentration, and hopefully he would have caught on and noticed that it's a prank. I don't know his last name. Okay, I don't know his last name. I just put a blatant last name in there, and I went with it. Then, of course, I went on and said about the kids and the video and the e-bike and stealing the Wi-Fi. And you would think that this person that's a collaborator, okay, with me, and of course, great person, okay, he enjoyed it and so forth. And that's Ant Like the Bug, okay. We always cracking on him because he's always on his e-bike and he's always going someplace. And his Wi-Fi is his channel, his content's always cutting off right in the middle of him talking. And we always knew in the back of the day, your Wi-Fi is all crappy. You cut off. It's because you got bad Wi-Fi. So that's where it got real funny because it's every single time. There's not a day, unless he's standing still, his Wi-Fi or his cellular service does not go out. So that's why we came up with the joke that he was stealing Wi-Fi constantly. So that was the actual voice message I left for him. Now, the ironic part behind it is that as soon as I left him that voicemail, of course, he didn't answer the phone right away because, of course, he heard there was a voicemail I left him. He immediately, within minutes, they called me back, okay? And this is what happened when he called me back. And again, it is freaking hilarious. Hold on. Let me do this another way. Let me do this another way. Hold on. because it is so funny on how he was. Now, mind you, he's with it. He enjoyed it. He laughed about it. He no bad, no harm, no nothing. Everybody's cool about it. But I want you guys to see how this came about as we ventured into it, and it's really hilarious. I mean, it really is. It really is hilarious. Okay, and just bear with me. I got it. Some of you are gonna say, "Oh, you're taking too long." Well, don't worry about it.
Right next for you to is Wi-Fi of Mrs. Chris. Well, you could store it to.
Okay, hold on. I'm almost ready. I don't want you guys to miss out on this. That's why I'm trying to get to where it's got to go. I want you guys to see this because this is where it counts. It's great. Great. And plus, I don't have my glasses on, so it's a little bigger. All right. So remember now, he immediately called me after the voicemail. After hearing his name, Anthony James.
Next door to my home, to our home. And I jokingly said to them, if you could take them in the house if you choose. But I wasn't on their Wi-Fi, I was on my phone. Well, their parent. Do you know their parents' name? Because I have a complaint here with a complaint name of Mrs. Chrissy Nathan. Was that your neighbor? Chris. His name is Chris, as far as I know. Okay.
Now, mind you, I don't know his neighbor. I don't know nobody that's next to him. And I don't even know what happens in his neighborhood. But the fact that he called me back immediately and started talking about it is where it gets so funny. Let me just back it up just a little bit so you guys can catch on, because maybe I don't think I put it out there. But mind you, Ant used to work in the police department, okay? And he heard his name, Anthony James. He heard me read him his Miranda rights over the phone. He heard me say a blatant number of a warrant number, and he immediately called me back. So this is why I got so funny.
To my home, to our home, and I jokingly said to them, if you could take them in the house if you choose. But I wasn't on their Wi-Fi; I was on my phone. Well, their parent. Do you know their parents' name? Because I have a complaint here with a complaint name of Mrs. Chrissy Nathan. Was that your neighbor? Chris. His name is Chris, as far as I know. Okay. Well, it seems that the neighbor has stated that you are stealing Wi-Fi, and it's a very, very, very large offense when you're actually stealing Wi-Fi, because that's how the scammers in the state of the United States, I believe you're somewhere in Ohio.
So even when you hear the stumbling in my voice, I said a large offense as opposed to a serious offense, because we all know when we watch any type of law enforcement type of program, they always say serious offense. I said large offense, and he's still he's angry and he's upset and he's bothered and he's not catching on. And I'm like, okay, when is he going to catch on? I'm like, when?
And we're in the field office in Florida, and we got the cyber unit looking into it. And this is the reason why we reached out to you, but there is actually a bench warrant for you to appear. I mean, this got to be serious, but my whole thing is I wasn't stealing anybody's Wi-Fi. I was on my phone. I don't even know how to steal the Wi-Fi, so I have a Wi-Fi next to my home, which is.
Now here you can see that he's really nervous, just like when if anybody, I watch a lot of body cam, and a person that's a suspect or is about to get arrested, they get really, really choppy with their words, and their words really don't make sense. He actually says that his Wi-Fi is next to his home. So if he was actually the one in trouble, he literally admitted that he's using someone else's Wi-Fi because he said the Wi-Fi is next to my home. So, of course, this is making it even funnier when he's saying these things. Let's continue.
Next door to their home. So why would I be stealing it? Like, you know what I mean? So, I mean, I've never had this happen to me, and I don't even understand how that happened. Because, again, I was next door to my home, in which the field sits, my house, his house, and in the field. I'm in that field, and his kid said something to me about my dog, because they usually ride their bike through the field. All I said to them was, they asked you, could I take the dog in the house? And I said to them, yeah, would you like to take the dog in the house? Because I know that they sit there and watch me walking the dog all the time. And I thought it was stopping there, so I don't understand why you tell he called you and told you that I stole their Wi-Fi.
Well, they put a report in.
I don't even know how to do that.
Well, unfortunately, Mr. Anthony, they filed a report with the local police department. The local police department reached out to the cyber crimes unit here in Florida. And in the Federal Bureau of Investigation, is our responsibility to actually look into these cyber crimes when there's actually a thought or process of someone stealing Wi-Fi to commit fraud. So this is the reason why we're reaching out to you. Unfortunately, we had to place a bench warrant for you to actually come and report into the police station so we can have a confrontal.
I don't even know the technology to do that, sir. But so what is it I need to do?
Well, I don't even know the technology to do that, sir. He's still not catching on to my voice, and he's still not catching on to the most ridiculous verbiages that I can use. I mean, he was when I tell you he was knee deep in the prank. Most of you have heard all the verbiage that I'm using, and you hear what I'm saying doesn't even make sense. And he's knee deep in it. And he's like, well, this is a serious situation, but I don't even know how to do this. What am I supposed to do next? I mean, I'm almost at this point, I'm like, if I turn around and tell him to go report to the police station, I think he would actually get up and go. So at this moment, I got to switch it up, make it a little bit more, comical maybe, and just to see if he catches on, because he still doesn't know it's me. Let's continue.
Well, basically, right now, what you need to do is you need to confirm for us 3 major points. Point number 1, do you have a black e-bike, like an electrical bike or something that comes plugged in that has no gasoline?
Yes.
Okay. Do you also have a tannish, brownish dog that seems to be somewhat vicious?
No, he was on the leash. She was on the leash with me, and she's not bothering anybody. She don't come outside unless I walk her, and they're not vicious because he's never come at them.
Okay.
These dogs have been over my property.
So here again, I said, seems to be vicious, right? He says, well, she, and then he goes back and says, but he's never been outside. So he literally is so nervous. It's so funny that he's not catching on. Even to the simplest things of us talking, he's just not catching on. He said he is not vicious. She's not vicious. And then, wait a minute, but he's always inside unless I bring him outside. So it's like, just listening to him, I'm dying in laughter as I'm talking to him on the phone, but I'm trying to keep on track to see how far it's going to go. Let's continue.
This is crazy.
Okay.
Go on, sir.
That's all right. The last final question, or actually I have 2 more questions, but this one I have 2 questions for you. The question next would be, were you previously married? Were you previously married?
Yes, my wife passed away.
With those deep condolences. That is confirmation that you were married, because we do have that on report. Now, we have one final question for you. Are you sitting down?
Yeah.
Okay, okay, good. Because we don't want you to pass out. We don't want you to be uncomfortable. We know this is a very frightful moment. We know this is a very uncomfortable situation. These situations don't really normally happen, folks. But you are actually at the moment of talking with your brother Jay, which is now actually telling you have been pranked.
Out the pit, you might be right. He would have gotten that e-bike and went straight to the precinct. But now, this is where, at this moment, as the joke goes, at this moment, he knew he fucked up. Right? Because This is where it really goes off the deep end. I mean, completely off the deep end. I'm telling him it's me. I'm telling him he's being pranked. And let's just listen, because so it's safe to say that fucking YouTube and all you motherfuckers that think you know what you're doing over there don't know a fucking thing. There is no bloody goddamn reason for y'all to fuck with my channel and freeze my content. Once again, you motherfuckers got the wrong motherfucker to fuck with. Y'all want to fuck my own content. It's my content. I created it. It's not copywritten. There's nothing on my content that has a copyright strike. But you fuckers, matter of fact, I am going to you some of my bitches.